Hello, this is Susie Berry from Serene Senses, and today I am on video, specifically at request from Eddie Malloy, otherwise known as the Smiley Queen of Salford City Radio, and she's asked me to show you how to go about testing for food intolerances and how to do it for a partner and how to do it for yourself. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you would do it on a partner. So I'm going to use my lovely partner who's lying on bed just now. So you want to just smile and wave at everybody for me? Okay, so first of all, when you've got your partner lying down, you can do this either lying down or standing up, whichever is more comfortable for you. So first of all, you're just going to make sure that their hand is nice and straight by their side on the bed. Put one hand on their shoulder and pull one out gently, okay? So just make sure that your client is comfortable with having their arm pulled out, okay? So you're just going to stop me and I'm going to pull out, okay? So just hold. Okay, so that shows me that he's got a fairly strong spleen. I'm going to just pinch in at his back, just in at the lower back. This is the muscle that governs the spleen meridian, and this lets me to see whether or not his spleen is going to give me a direct answer. I'm just going to pinch gently, and again, you try and stop me, and hold. Okay, fantastic. That's him nice and weak. Okay, so you were able to see just there that with Chris's arm, his hand went right out to the side. Now for yourself, when you're testing with a client or when you're self-testing, you might find that your arm only comes out a few inches. It might come right out. It's very unique, and basically what you need to figure out for yourself is how much effort you're putting in. If you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort, then that's a weak test. So I'm going to show you how you would test different foods first of all. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to put a little blindfold over Chris so he doesn't know what foods I'm testing first of all. Okay, so you just lift up your head for me. Okay, great. So here is food number one. Okay, I'm just going to put it right over his solar plexus. Okay, you're just going to stop me. I'm going to pull out your arm. Okay, and hold. Okay, so food number one is nice and strong. Food number two. Okay, let's see. Again, hold. Oh, and that's weak. Okay, so food number three. Okay. Again, hold. Nice and strong. And food number four. Okay, so again, just holding here and weak. Okay, so not really very surprising there at all. So basically from that test, I can tell Chris would probably do well with a banana and berry smoothie. The orange and the Fosters, however, would probably make him not feel so well. If, however, he told me that he really wanted to have an orange, what I could do is start with a strong test and see whether or not the orange weakened him. From that basic test, I know that orange is not going to make him feel any better, but it might actually give him a neutral response. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we'll make his spleen nice and strong. Okay, just give it rubbing in the back, getting that muscle nice and strong. And again, just hold. Okay, so let's see what happens when we retest with the orange. Okay, and hold. And sadly, no, it's still weak. So he cannot have an orange. And let's see with this, he cannot have a Foster's either. Okay, so those are two really simple tests, how you would deal with food intolerances, and you can use that for any food around your house. I generally use it when I'm cooking, so if I can go around the kitchen, if there's things that I think, oh, that might go nicely, I'm not so sure, you can use it to actually make fantastic recipes. A lot of the time I'll cook without having a clue what I'm going to start with when I go in my kitchen, and I'll just go around deciding what is good for me. And so the motto that Donna Eden goes by is test before you ingest. So anything you eat, test before you do it. And most practitioners go by that, but that isn't to say that we're not human. We generally do test weak to cakes, but everybody does like a bit of cake every now and then. So what you can do, if you find that your spleen is a bit upset after you've eaten something, is just tap your spleen points in here. And that helps you to get balanced. And actually they're really useful to just tap as often as possible. So if Chris did decide that he really wanted that orange or the Fosters, then he could go ahead and have them. And if he felt really bad after it and decided that he probably shouldn't have done it, that's how you would go about fixing that, just tapping those spleen points. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you would self-test with the exact same procedure. Okay, so now that you've seen how you would do self-testing on a partner, I'm going to show you how you would do it yourself. So just tilting it so you can see my full body. So basically you would have your arm at your side and just push as much as you can with your whole hand. And then just pinch in at your own back, and you shouldn't have to push that hard. You'll be able to feel a difference in strength. Again, you might find your arm comes right out. You might find it's only a couple of inches. The difference is very personal, and it's how much effort you have to put in. So if you feel you have to put in a little bit more effort after that pinch, then that lets you know your spleen is talking to you. If you find your spleen is not talking to you and it does not budge, then it is probably frozen, which is when you have to really dig in deep, tap quite hard, or massage it. You might find those points are really, really sore and tender. So really dig in so that you can get the best test possible, because your spleen is what helps you metabolize all your food. That's why it's used as the Eden Energy Medicine test. So you can also massage the base of your spine on either side, just getting in those muscles, making sure they're nice and happy to cooperate with your food testing. So hopefully, if you weren't testing well before, you are now. So again, just push out gently onto your wrist. So just show you, basically you're just pushing here gently. Okay, so and again, just so you can see at the side, so you're pinching just in here at your back, and there you would give you a weak test. So I'm going to get the 4 food types and see what's good for me. Okay. So I have here again my orange. So what I would do in my situation, because I don't have somebody to test me, again I would just hold it in the solar plexus and count to 10, so that your energy situation can hold the energy of the orange, so that you can bring in that energy, so that you can see whether or not the energy that the orange holds will be good for you or not. So it doesn't always give as reliable a test as you would when you have a partner, but you can use it day to day to help you when you don't have anybody else. So that's probably long enough. I'm just going to put the orange down and see if the orange is good for me, and it's not, sadly. Okay, so again, I'm just going to do the same with the banana. And just hold it there and just see how that feels. And actually just holding it there, I can already feel it just feels generally nicer than the orange does. So I'm not surprised at all that it's giving me a strong test. Okay, so now I'm going to try my berries and see how my berries are for me. And they are weak. Sadly, I actually have an allergy to berries, so I'm not surprised. I'm Susie Berry and I cannot eat berries. I can have very few, and generally when I do, I have to make sure that I tap. So I'm always quite cautious when testing berries. So lastly, I'm going to test my beer and see how that goes. Okay. And that is weak. I can't have any beer tonight. So if I had decided that upon getting the berries, and they gave me a weak test, I wanted to eat them anyway. Again, I could tap my spleen. Or what I could do is just see, I did that with a weakened test. What I could do is strengthen up my back, make sure it's nice and strong, and see if it still weakens me. Okay, so again, just put that there into the solar plexus. Hold it for the count of 10. And sadly not. Nope, no berries for Susie Berry. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to show you how you would do it with crystals and with essential oils. So I have two oils here. I have Mei-chan and I have Cassia. So again, I just put it up to my solar plexus. And this is just to test the general ambience of the energy, whether or not Mei-chan would generally be good for me. And you just hold that idea into your head and then just test. And it is. Cassia, just again, visualize, would this be good for my general energy? And sadly it's not. So if I wanted to make a blend or put this into my bath, I could decide to choose which of those I wanted and how many drops of this I would want to put into my blend. So I would hold it here, think of the general energy, and then count up to 10 when pressing on my arms. So just holding that energy in my aura and think, how many drops do I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it goes weak at 7 drops. That lets me know that I can have 7 drops in my energy test, in my bath, or if I wanted to blend it with an almond oil base. That is how I would generally go about making a blend for other people if I was to test for other people. So again, I'm going to show you how I would work with Chris and showing how the blend would work with him. So I'm just going to bring the camera around so you can see him a bit better. Okay. And again, I just get your arm down at your side. Again, I'm just going to test on this side, see how your spleen is. So just hold. Just going to pinch in gently and hold. And I'm just going to bring the Mei-chan onto your solar plexus and hold. Okay, and it's not good for you. And Cassia, and it's not good for you either. Okay, well, let's see if either of these crystals will be good for you. So, oh, yay. Okay, so a little bit of Lava Rosa is good for Chris. Let's see if it's this one. Okay, and a little bit of Blue Vesuvianite as well. So, if I was going to be working on Chris, I would choose to do some crystal therapy as opposed to aromatherapy if I had him in as a client. So that just gives you a general idea of how I would work with a client, how I would base going about the start of their therapy session. So generally, if a client comes in and they have any ailment or issue that they want to work with, I could use kinesiology testing in this way to find out if an oil would be good for them, if a crystal would be good for them, or if specific meridians are out of control. So I've just shown you how to do a spleen test here, but there are lots of different tests using different muscles and different places where you would pinch to show which meridians are out of balance. And so each meridian has its own flow, and you can use them all as a guide to help keeping you nice and in balance. So that just gives you a general idea. If you have any questions about how you can enhance your skills, then let me know. One last thing I would like to point out is quite often you find that energy tests with regards to food can be flipped by adrenaline. So often a food that is very high in sugar will come up as giving a strong response. So, for example, if Chris had tested strong to the Fosters, I would probably massage his adrenals or check if his adrenals were out of alignment. And so it's quite useful if you are going to do an adrenaline test to just double check whether or not that is affecting your test. So I'm just going to show you how you would go about doing that. Okay, so again, just showing you my whole body. So my belly button is here. My adrenaline points are here and here. So if I was wanting to test myself, I have here so I would massage these points here first of all before I start any testing if I'm working with myself, because more often than not these points are really tender, because most people tend to get very stressed out and will like cake and chocolate and so on, and it's always best to just try to massage these first before you do any testing, and that way you don't get your own body telling you that you need sugar or caffeine. The other thing that sometimes gets in the way is your brain. Your brain will tell you that you need various things that more often than not you do not at all. So what you can do with a test is hold just at the back of your head here and here. You have two little points, and holding these points while you're holding, say for example, I want to use my little blue crystal. Say I really, really love the color blue, and I think the color blue is going to really fix me. That might affect my self-testing, and so what to do is holding these points, holding the blue crystal against my body, just counting to 10 and just really checking in to see whether or not the colour blue is actually helpful or if it's going to be not so good for me. Okay, and again, just testing, and thankfully it is. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on myself with the blue crystal. So thank you very much for listening. I hope it has been helpful, and hope to see you all again. Bye bye.